YouTube, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Ish. Well, technically, welcome to the same video, just the second part of the video. So today, as you can see, I'm mad tired. This is off the wake up. I gotta wake up. I gotta do so much stuff. This is straight off the wake up. Look. I went to bed at 3:30 this morning, and right now it's 10 something. So off the wake up, running on a few hours of sleep, but got a lot to do today. Today is Essie's launch party. Big shout out to you, Essie. We love you. We support you. So today we'll be vlogging and just showing you what's going on for our launch party and all of that. So today we'll be celebrating Essie and her new ventures, her new business. Her site is going up on Tuesday, but it'll be already up by the time I upload this video. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned, watch the video to the end, and you guys are gonna see what's going on for Essie's launch party. Alright? Come on, let's go.
The reason why these bottles are so simple is because they don't want to intimidate you, right? As a young 21-year-old, I started drinking wine when I was 21. Walking into the liquor store. Yes, it was what, like last year? Oh, hi, mommy. It's intimidating. Right? You walk into the store, there's all these options. Wine always seems like such a sophisticated thing to drink, you know what I'm saying? So if you're walking in and you don't really know what to get, you want something that's gonna catch your eye, right? And so these brands decided to use the bright colors, feminine colors, and very simple packaging that doesn't say too much to attract the people that they're trying to attract. Because they know that first-time wine drinkers also like sweet wine. So I don't know if Barefoot makes like reds and like the really deep stuff, do they? Do you know? Cool. So those packages are probably slightly different from these ones with the darker colors and things like that. But now we get to the difference between these two, right? The only differences that I can really see is the typography. It's pretty heavy. I don't know if I'm gonna like pass it around, but he's like, not really, but everybody should get a pretty close look at it. Yeah, get a close look, because that type is pretty playful. Let's say font, right? The font that we're using is playful. It's quite simple still, but it has character with the O's that overlap, different tiny things like that. His business made by Ish, so if you want custom products, check him out. If you want great clothes, also check him out. So that's that. Please grab a mask because COVID, and then there are succulents there as well. There's a reason I'm giving you guys succulents. I mean, it's a garden party, but also they represent different things. So in Western culture, succulents represent endurance. Because you really don't have to water them that much for them to live. Things are harsh conditions in terms of weather and stuff. And you know, I told you guys about the verse that AlGrace got its name from. And we want to have an abundance, okay, of everything. We want to have an abundance of joy. Right. We want to have an abundance of money. We want to have an abundance of peace and all of that in every season so that we can also give to others. So that is why you're getting succulents. But also in Eastern culture, it represents prosperity and success. And prosperity and success, that's period. You know what I mean? So I want that for all of you. because not just because you want that for me, but we can all have it together. So
Yes, girl.
that's all. I'll bring into the store, the liquor store, wherever you get your wine. Stop the shop. That's not the person. But you're going to the store and you're trying to pick out a Moscato for your evening. It's like, what is the big difference between the two? What would make you buy one over the other, right? And so with these ones, I mean, you've tasted it before you have the opportunity to buy. Majority of the time, you don't have the opportunity to taste it before you buy it. But if you were to walk into a store, right? We, as businesses, how many of you own businesses? We have a couple, right? In the words, not some period. So, yeah, we've got some business owners and a lot of consumers. We're all consumers, and so the brand is what would make you decide which one to buy. So it all starts with a good product, right? We have wine. Everybody was like, I like this one. I'm tasting the apples. I'm getting the notes of all the good stuff. It tastes great. And so now, what I want to do is reveal which is which. We have the barefoot vodka. Is that right? Oh, it's hot. Thank you. Great. Oh yeah. Can you actually get the what?
Wow.
Can we get a? Oh, sorry.
My bad.
Yes. Many of us have had
This is such a
barefoot
tight
wine
space.
before. If you've had
Oh my
barefoot
God.
wine, please raise your hands.
Just now you did, so.
Right. The other one that we have is Yellowtail.
I like it.
Yes,
Love a Yellowtail.
yes. Yellowtail.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the fruity one. This is the fruity one.
Sorry.
Moscato was one. Yellowtail was the
Can you face the camera? There we go.
You're a good Vanna.
So, ultimately, the process of building a brand, I'll just explain it really, really quickly. It's strategy and design. So you start with the strategy. The strategy contains a bunch of different things. So let's say any of you have a business, you're coming to me for a consultation or just for me to build your brand. We start with the purpose behind your business, right? So why do you exist? What do you want to tell the world? At least for AlGrace, the reason that AlGrace exists is because it irks my spirit when there are really great products and nobody knows about them. And that can be for a variety of reasons, right? If you don't have the right strategy and design, hire me, you're never going to reach your intended audience. So a lot of people end up paying tons of money on marketing, and they're either hitting the wrong audience, so when the audience sees their product, they're like, that means nothing to me, or they're marketing to the right people, but they're giving the wrong message, right? They're sending the wrong message with their language, they're sending the wrong message with their visuals. So now, what did I just explain? I just explained the purpose, right? The purpose behind the business. Then we talk about things like your target audience, right? Who do you want to market to, and how do we get them to resonate with you? Talk about target audience. We also go into things like your brand personality. So what kind of language are you using? Are you like a Wendy's where you're on Twitter all the time just like backfiring at people, right? Are you something like, I'm trying to think of a really like serious, sophisticated business. It's my job, right? Yeah. Yeah, or honestly, Beyonce's brand, if you think about it, like, sis doesn't show up to things anymore. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole period of time where she just didn't come to award shows. She was just that big. You know what I'm saying? She didn't need to be there. Where anytime she posts on Instagram, she has no caption, right? Because it's like,
I said what
the
I said.
picture is the picture. This is, you know what I mean? It's like, that's who she is and that's her brand. So that has to do with personality. We also go into things like your tone of voice. So that affects you a lot. Like I mentioned with Wendy's, they're always on Twitter. Their tone of voice is very playful, very like pointy sometimes, where it's like, you're a little rude, I like it, you know? We also have like brand associations. So what do we want people to think about your business? Do you have any associations that you would, or words that come to mind when you think of like Apple? Can somebody give me one?
Luxury.
Expensive, innovative. Was that luxury?
Let me know if you need to come this way. I'm just recording video. Let me know if you need to come this way. I'm just recording video. Yeah. I'm just recording.
But yeah. What, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, we got an apple juice up there. Someone said apple juice.
All right. So a couple of the words that I heard were innovative, luxury, right? What were the others? Expensive. Those are all really good words because that's exactly what they are. They're creative, right? They are exclusive, even in the way that they have their shows, or what is it called? The thing that they do every year when they just present everything. It's so clear cut, right? It's very innovative. They're always coming out with something new. And those are things that they came up with before they dropped the products. When you think of a business like Tesla, right? Tesla's mission statement is to accelerate the world's transition into sustainable energy. That's their mission, right? So they start with their why, and because of that, they can kind of spread it into any area that they want. They do cars, right? Electric vehicles. They do solar energy. And because of their why, they can now do that in many different ways. And the why is what is actually going to resonate with consumers. So I don't drive a Tesla. Maybe soon, you know, if all goes well. But like their audience members are kind of like dedicated. They love Tesla. And it's not just because of the car, but it's because of the why right behind the car. Now I can play a part in this bigger role of accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. I'm helping people by driving this car, right? I'm helping the world, I'm helping my kids, that kind of thing. So all of that needs to be solidified and discussed, right, before moving into design. Because if Apple, right, decided like they just created a beautiful design, let's say they look like Microsoft, but they're trying to tell people that they are innovative, they're exclusive. Microsoft does not look exclusive to me. They have 4 different colors in their logo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just very, this is an everybody brand. Everybody can buy Microsoft, everybody can use it. But Apple wanted to really simplify their brand, which is why they wanted to simplify computers in general, which is why they have such simple advertising. So that's all strategy. There's even more that goes into it, but I think you understand. Are we getting the drift?
Yeah.
So that's the strategy part, right? Then we move into design. So the design is based on the strategy. There are a lot of brand design firms out there, I'll say, that make logos or creative things for your business. And a lot of times they look beautiful, they're incredible, but they don't necessarily, they're not backed by the strategy, which is the most important part. Because if you're not backed by the strategy, then there's no way. Here you go, you feel like my dad. There's no way that you're gonna hit the right thing. The design portion, right? Based on the strategy we created, we know your target audience now. We know what message you're trying to portray. We know the associations that we're trying to make in the minds of consumers. Now we create your logo. We choose colors for you, right? We choose a typeface. What kind of font are we going to use so that this message comes across? And something as simple as like a serif. So if you look at my logo, like it's very simple. You know what I'm saying? It's the word mark. And I mean, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but even things like the little serif at the bottom of the A, the little line that goes across the bottom, or some businesses, which I'll explain, use typefaces that have no serif. Those are the ones that are just like very simple, easy to read, but like a serif would be the little thing at the bottom, and then you add the other little thing, and that kind of thing. Times New Roman. Thank you. Right. So those are all of the different considerations that come into play when we are building a brand. So we've got our 2 lines here. I wanted to show you guys who they're targeting and how they did that. I'm gonna go back over there so that you can see. But I'll start with. Okay.
You're going back. All right, no, that's fine. You're good.
So I'll start with Barefoot, right? Barefoot is probably the first wine that I ever drank, right? Probably a couple years ago, I was like, I'm fancy. I drink wine now. I don't do hard liquor. I don't do, right? You know. Anyways. We got Barefoot, right? Can anybody tell me anything about the packaging?
Looks like baby.
See a foot?
The 2 O's overlap.
Yes.
There's a foot.
There's a foot. It's a barefoot. It's kind of simple. Yeah, simple. What about the colors? Or the color?
They go
very soft
with the line.
That's like a simplistic.
It was like 2, right?
Yeah. Yeah, very nice and like sleek kind of vibes, right?
Yes.
So I'll start by saying yes, right? We've got the O's that overlap. I know one thing that we just said was that there's a foot on it, right? And it's called Barefoot, which is not necessarily something that screams like traditional wine where we've aged this for years and all of that, right? So it's very simple. Their target market is us, right? Young women between the ages of 21 and like 29. And so even with the color, when they do their pink Moscato, they do their pink top, that kind of thing too. But all the colors are very vibrant, right? They're bright, they're fun, but in a way they're still like, it's girly. And so due to the nature of Moscato, right, it's already sweet, and at the bottom they have deliciously sweet here. Did you grab the burnt around? There's a big difference between these two bottles, right? There's not much of a difference between these 2 bottles. They're using the same colors, or quite similar, right? Similar colors, very simple packaging. It doesn't say too much, right? The reason why these bottles are so simple is because they don't want to intimidate you, right? As a young 21-year-old, because I started drinking wine when I was 21, walking into the liquor store.
21.
Yes. It was what, like last year? Oh, hi, mommy. It's intimidating, right? You walk into the store, there's all these options. Wine always seemed like such a sophisticated thing to drink, you know what I'm saying? So if you're walking in there, you don't really know what to get. You want something that's gonna catch your eye, right? And so these brands decided to use the bright colors, feminine colors, and very simple packaging that doesn't say too much to attract the people that they're trying to attract. Because they know that first-time wine drinkers also like sweet wine. So I don't know if Barefoot makes like reds and like the really deep stuff, do they? Do you know? Yeah, get a close look, because that type is pretty playful. I should say font, right? The font that they're using is playful. It's quite simple still, but it has character with the O's that overlap, different tiny things like that that'll catch your eye and change something about a design. Yellowtail, they also wanted to make wine simple, but not necessarily for young women. We'll just say young women like us, right? I don't know why I looked at you when I said that. But we've got Yellowtail. If you look at their font, right, it's also really simple. Very simple, very like spaced out. You can read everything clearly. Their target audience is anyone aged, I want to say like 29 to 41, who is also intimidated by wine. So it's such a slight difference in age, but they're not as, I guess, carefree as Barefoot. Barefoot in their advertisements will have a bunch of women our age hanging out, girls' night kind of vibes, like, because we used to do that all the time, right? Just go get a bottle of Barefoot because I don't know what else is in that store. And it looks cute, you can post about it, you can drink it and have fun. This one looks a bit more, sophisticated, and they do that through their packaging. It's an Australian brand, so they have their little kangaroo on here. But that's the basics, right? So when you walk into a store as a young, either woman or man, or whatever you are, if you want Barefoot, those are the reasons that would attract who they're specifically trying to attract, all based on strategy.
Yeah.
If you look at a bottle like this, immediately there's like this map on it, right? Which is cool. It looks pretty upscale. It's like this really cute, slim bottle. And they also have the award that they won in 2020, right? So they're trying to attract people who like Moscato, right? But care about which Moscato they're drinking. You know those people where they're like, I don't want just any Moscato. I don't want the Moscato that the college girls are drinking. I'm a wine drinker, okay? I want the good stuff.
At me next time.
So, so yeah, that's essentially the difference. And I think a lot of people don't, a lot of people in businesses don't necessarily understand branding or don't recognize when they need to brand. You guys couldn't really tell the major difference. We liked both of them, but we couldn't tell a big difference between the two products. However, with branding, you can really connect with your consumer and put your product in the center of their life. So they know how you fit into their life by starting with strategy and moving on to design. I mean, that's basically like the essentials. That's all of branding. But yeah, I'm hoping everybody has a better understanding of what branding is. And I think that's it for right now. Yeah.
Great job. I learned so much about why I was making the decision to make picking wine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody had any questions. It's not like a TED Talk, but, you know, if anybody had questions. Yeah.
How does that affect, like, pricing? If you have, like, different strategies?
Yeah.
Can you charge more when you're a brand? Like, Apple charges
Literally.
an arm and a leg.
Yes. No, exactly. You can charge, when a brand looks better, they can charge as much as they want. Because immediately, people will have the perception that the product is better, when in reality, it might be the same exact thing. But because they look like, oh my gosh, that looks very premium, it looks very, upscale,
Yeah.
then it can affect your pricing heavily. Yeah. Any others? No. Okay, cool.
What inspired your business? Like, what inspired you to start this?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've always been like, you know, some people say like left brain and right brain. So if you're right brain, you're more creative. If you're left brain, you're more like strategic, analytical, that kind of thing. I'm like direction. And I have always been trying to find like what career to go into, right? Like what makes sense for me. And so when I went to school for business. And the marketing classes were always so much more interesting to me than the other classes. Basically because I realized that this is the perfect fit right in the middle. I can still design, I can still create, but it's based on something substantial. I'm not necessarily just creating for the sake of creating, even though that's amazing, that's important. But yeah, also a lot of prayer, girl. A lot of prayer because I did not know what I was doing after school. But I did a lot of seeking work, and this just felt right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell
us the story.
I'm gonna take a little break and come back. I'll share. So the name also comes from a Bible verse. The verse is from 2 Corinthians chapter 9.
You can't be serious.
Oh, she about to preach.
Everybody wants to come to the party.
She about to preach. Hold up.
She pulled out the Bible.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, I got it.
let me open up my Bible app. Hold up.
Okay, open your Bibles.
Boom.
Page.
Not where I left it. Well, I think I remember it. In 2 Corinthians chapter 9, right? And it says that the Lord is able
Yes.
to make all grace, right? So that's every favor and earthly blessing come in abundance to you so that you may have an abundance for every act of charity and every good work, right?
Wow.
Say that.
Right?
That's good.
And I mentioned before that it grinds my gears when people have great products but like can't reach their audiences. And I think that purposeful business owners should have an abundance. You know what I'm saying? Like they're creating something that's filling a need in the market, and those people need the product. I know when I told somebody that I was going to school for marketing, they were like, "Oh, so you just want to take people's money, huh?" Right? And I thought it was a joke, but later I was like, I don't know if she was really joking. But marketing back in the day was about trying to sell you things that you didn't need. Today, it's about filling a need in the market, right? So what would we do without our iPhones? You know what I'm saying? Like, they filled needs that we didn't know that we had. I can't type all the time. Maybe I'll just have to talk to Siri. You know what I'm saying? And she'll answer me. She'll tell me to get some rest. Right? She'll talk back, and it's a need that I didn't know I needed. But if Apple wasn't able to push their message and, do what they do, then we wouldn't have our iPhones. You know, like, what's your favorite product? Does anybody want to share? If you have a favorite, it's a pretty tough question. There's so many things in the world. Your Apple Watch. Any others?
And AirPods.
AirPods.
They're pretty much all Apple.
All Apple products. Yeah, they made a big impact. What about a product that you like? I'll change it from favorite products. What's a product that you like? Maybe jeans that you wear all the time, or
Face Theory.
Face Theory.
Crocs.
Crocs.
Ooh.
No,
You said Fashion Nova.
hey, okay, the good ones, right? Really thin lace, and it's like really important, or else we would all still be wearing helmet wigs. And helmet wigs are not cute, right? So in order to make people's lives better, I think that's why business exists, right? And AlGrace is here to help those businesses to reach their audience so that the business owners and the people who get their products will have an abundance, right, of what they need in order to live their lives the way that they need to live, basically. Yeah. As a business owner, right, you do your business and you learn over time. I was mentioning to that table before that brand strategy and design, I personally wouldn't suggest it to anyone who hasn't been in business for less than a year, just because when you're starting out, you have to make sure your product is good. You know what I'm saying? You figure out who you want to target to, figure out who actually likes your product and see how you can connect with them more, that kind of thing. And so for me, I don't have a niche yet because I don't know who benefits the most from what I do. I'm sure all businesses can benefit from it, but maybe my style of design fits restaurants better. Maybe my style of design fits wine brands better. Maybe it fits clothing brands better. So yeah.
Are you targeting businesses that are in need help, or startups?
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm targeting startups, even though I would definitely work with startups. Business is in need, for sure, because I want to have the biggest impact possible. You know, I want to actually change something, because it'd be super awkward. Pay me all this money, and then you get the same the same result. So yeah, if business is in need, I think that would probably be the most fulfilling business to work with. Yeah, so I basically do value-based pricing. So instead of charging by the amount of hours that I'm working, I charge based on I charge based on the value that a client would get out of this strategy and design. So right now, the projects, well, I guess everybody can see what the projects start with on Tuesday when the site drops.
Write that down.
But yeah, you're my friend. I can share. So yeah, I mean, projects right now start at $2K. Yeah, because I mean, I was even thinking, like you put in $2K, that investment into your business, and you can actually hit your target every time. You're putting out ads like on social. Let's say you pay for ads on social and you're hitting the right people and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to buy from you. That's incredible value. And another thing about the strategy part is that it doesn't just affect the design, it affects the internal workings of your business. You know what I'm saying? So our values, let's see if I remember them all. This is all so recent, guys. But one of them is strive for excellence. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know me, you know I try not to do anything halfway. I sometimes feel like I physically can't. So I'm gonna clean the bathroom, like I'm kind of gonna OD, and so I take my time before I clean the, you know, I'm like, I'll have to do it tomorrow because today I don't have that kind of energy. So that affects, let's say, a couple years when I'm super successful.
Amen.
And I have employees, right? They're gonna want to strive for excellence too, right? If they're looking for a company to work for that has that kind of value, it's like I don't want to work somewhere where they kind of do things halfway. Halfway, like it affects all of that. Another one of our values is work with what you have. Like there's a way to like make it work.
Come on now.
Another one is walk with purpose.
Come on now.
Oh, yeah. Another one is walk with purpose, right? So, like I said, everything is based on the strategy. So the business is super purposeful, even for Radical. We just did a project for my bestie Vivian.
I'm over here. I'm the bestie.
But yeah, it was a super purposeful project. Even in the logo, like there's so much meaning in the logo alone.
That you design.
And it translated through to the set design. It translated to the songs that we sang and like the type of message that we were sharing. So those values. What was the question? Somebody asked me a question. No way. Yes, if I talk about an hour. Okay.
Yeah. Preach.
Okay. So don't charge. No, I'm kidding. What was I?
You're talking about your
Values, yes. The purchases that I decide to make for the business, they'll affect everything inside. And so if you want to have a successful business, it's not just about what it looks like on the outside, right? It's about what goes on the inside. And if you have a strategy that will help you to always remember like your core and make decisions based off that, you'll come across as more consistent, you'll come across as more competent, and your customers are going to love that, right? That builds trust with consumers, and so they'll buy from you. So all of that value is included in the price. I'll say it that way. That's why I don't charge by the hour.
Well said. Well said.
Amen and amen.